I want to talk about one of my favorite consoles of all time, and a console I feel like doesn't get a lot of appreciation now, is the Nintendo GameCube. I feel like I see people have a nostalgia trip when it comes to systems like the Super Nintendo, the Nintendo 64, Dreamcast, stuff like that. I truly wasn't that young, and I wasn't playing video games when those systems came out, and those were the first of its time. Not saying they're bad, but one of the first truly things I experienced was the Nintendo GameCube. The Nintendo GameCube just had something to it that really opened my eyes, and that I really think is a cool console now, to say the least. I mean, it's called the GameCube, and it's literally in the shape of a fucking cube. That's genius, dude. Give the guy at Nintendo who came up with this a fucking raise, because this is spectacular marketing. Had a little handle behind it so you could carry it and play Sonic Adventure 2 Chow Garden with your friends, and it had so many iconic things to it. I'm talking about the sound you hear when you first press the power button and you hear the little GameCubes lining up into a giant GameCube logo, and you hear this sound. Or for all my Easter egg hunters that held onto the Z button, that also heard this secret sound whenever they turn on their Nintendo GameCube as well. Just those two alone, I don't see any system doing that for a startup nowadays. I think it had one of the better startups, and it really got you into excitement of what you're going to be playing when you first started on your system. Let's get into the controllers now. I think the controllers are very freaking spectacular. There's something about these controllers that I thought were very freaking cool. They're shaped nice, they had a whole bunch of colors to them, and honestly, they hold up to this day. And I'm talking about you super sweaty Super Smash Bros. Players. Sit there with Fox in the corner and shoot your little gun all the time, or people that down B with Pikachu. Not me. Or people that be suck it off with Kirby! Yeah, I'm looking at you guys. The Nintendo GameCube still holds up for that. I think the Nintendo GameCube controller still holds up for other games too. I was using the Nintendo GameCube controller for games like Mario Kart 8, which I just like the way the controller felt when you were racing, because it kind of emulates stuff when you were playing Mario Kart Double Dash. Getting off the topic of talking about how it had a good title screen, a good controller, like we all know that. But did you guys know that for the Nintendo GameCube that you also had a little thing that you connect to the bottom of it to where you could play Game Boy games and Game Boy Advance games? That shit was so S tier and elite. Like, I wish that they would do that now with Switch games and stuff like that. Now they just kind of port them over and make you pay a fee for it. But the GameCube, you were able to play GameCube games, Game Boy, and Game Boy Advance games. And they also had a little controller port where you could plug in your Game Boy Advance, you could play stuff through there. I remember using this just so I could beat Fire Red with just a Caterpie, and yes, just a Caterpie. I'm going to throw up this Reddit screenshot that I took for over 15 years ago or so. And it was one of the things that I used to play on the TV screen because I didn't want to have a handheld super close to my face. So you're probably sitting there like, Nick, this video's random, it's weird, you're not doing a video game review, you're kind of just yapping and blapping and snapping about a Nintendo GameCube, like who cares? Well, first of all, I care, because this is the video I kind of want to do for my channel, because I feel like I want to sit there and rant and tell you guys about games that I used to play and how I kind of got into this role about me wanting to review video games and talk about video games all the time. And plus, it's a GameCube video. Who doesn't want to hear about the fucking GameCube? It happened one Christmas morning. Me and my brother woke up and we looked under the Christmas tree. Boom. Piles of presents underneath there. And you kind of get the gifs. Yeah, wake up, open a bunch of presents. Boom. GameCube is there, right? So I will tell you guys, though, the GameCube wasn't the first console I ever had. My first console I actually ever had was the PlayStation 1. With it being a very great console and very iconic games like Digimon Rumble Arena, Digimon World that I had no idea how to play, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories, one of the GOATest Yu-Gi-Oh! Games of all time, and y'all can fight me on that because that was the one I played and that was the best one to me. The Nintendo GameCube I felt like was still one of my first and favorite consoles to ever have. I don't know if it was the feeling because it was me and my brother's first console or the games that I had a lot of games too. I remember playing games like Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2. And these might be one of the better 3D Sonic games to ever happen. With Sonic Adventure, you had so many different Sonic characters that you could sit there and play through a story of either Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Big the Cat, the E-Robot that I'm not going to try to explain, and so many more characters. It was super cool to see. And they all had a great story, wacky mechanics, and it kind of had that little, I wouldn't say open world, but you were able to kind of scroll and kind of explore throughout, I think it was called something Square, and you were able to explore all that, and it was a great feeling, and the first time we ever really got to experience that with a Sonic game. And then you have Sonic Adventure 2, which might be one of my favorite Sonic games, and one of my favorite games of honestly of all time. And I say that a lot about a lot of games. Yes, I do, but this was my first greatest game of all time. Sonic Adventure 2 took off with two stories. You had the hero story, you had the dark story. The hero story, you had Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails exploring through a whole story, trying to figure out what Eggman's going through, and Shadow, and all that good stuff. And then you also had the dark side with Shadow, Rouge, and Eggman, what they're going through their side of the story, and them trying to figure out everything that's going with the heroes. So it was a good play on and kind of seeing everything from their eye point of view with iconic levels like City Escape, Aquatic Mimes, Pumpkin Hill, and so many freaking more. Radical Highway was also a really good one. And I just loved everything about the Sonic Adventure 2 game. That's something I'll get more into details with down the line. I don't really do like a full review for that one, so you'll have to wait and see. The GameCube also had great games like Simpsons Hit and Run. I remember this game being such a great freaking title. Being able to be Homer Simpson and the gang and being able to get into cars and run people over with the crazy ragdoll mechanics that they had in the game. This game was basically Grand Theft Auto without it being Grand Theft Auto. And I remember just having so much fun with this title and just not even really doing missions, just taking Homer in his pink sedan and seeing how much I could mess up and seeing how much I could hit. And then also it was super funny when you get the cops to go like super fast and they just like shoom, and they just smoke your ass. One game I also want to talk about is Super Mario Sunshine. One of those games that was the first game I played, and they go to Delfino Plaza and they see that the town's all painted up and destroyed. This is due to something that looks familiar to Super Mario. And the whole town of Delfino Plaza blames this all on him. So his punishment is to sit there and to clean up the whole town with his little hydro buddy that he finds and sit there and cleans everything up. So it's Mario's job to figure out who this guy is and to capture him and to defeat him for what he truly is. This game was very freaking cool. Not even me just saying that because this was my first Mario game I ever played. I just remember really iconic moment of going to the first level and having that big water slide of sprinklers going off and you just sliding down into that water. It was something different, but it was one of my favorite Mario games to this date. I just really like the whole concept of you using the little hydro buddy on your back and being able to do things like use it for attacking, using it for a jetpack, and the platforming that you really had to do in that game was kind of crazy. I wouldn't say it controlled the best, but it was my first Mario game, and that's to say why I like it. Mario always has put out really good, iconic platforming games, even to this day. Like, we had Super Mario Galaxy when the Wii came out, and then we had Super Mario Odyssey, which was one of my favorite games for the Switch, and I had a very good time playing it. I don't know, man. It's just something about the GameCube that I truly love, and I just really wanted to make a video about this so I could ramble and rant to you guys about how much I really loved this system and the great games that it had. I could go on and on and on, and I could make a part 2 about this, and I might do it, make it like a whole series of GameCube games I truly love. Other than that, man, I think the Nintendo GameCube deserves its props, and I definitely feel like it shouldn't ever be forgotten. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Please subscribe, man. I'm begging you. I'm fucking begging you.